the next problem, problem 5, we call this the technical debt chasm. Not very catchy, but it's what we call it. Talk us through the consequences of acting in that way and what you've seen in your long history.
Yeah, and I think chasm's a good word, because the point of chasm is it's too big to kind of overcome. It's too big to get to the other side. You know, it's not just a river you can build a bridge over and connect two things. This is what we see organisations, I see in the industry, organisations always struggle with. The 3 problems we've talked about before: short-termism, kicking the can down the road, solving the problems in the future, and not taking action because of technology volatility. With the rate of change of technology and improvements in innovation getting faster and faster, you're just even further away from knowing how to deal with that tech debt. And the longer you leave that problem, the more that chasm grows, right?
Yeah.
And the impact of that is it becomes quite clear then that there's a problem there. You go and try and recruit for a new engineering lead. They'll look at the technology stack you've got. They might choose a different company because of that. You look for a new initiative from the commercial team or the digital team to say, could we just do this? Could we just put some generative AI on top of that data? An easy question that they expect the IT leaders to go, that's easy because our data is well structured. Whereas really you're thinking in your head, how can I expose that data? It's locked away. There's so many dependencies I've got to do before I can get at that data. And suddenly this innovation is getting constrained because of it, right?
Yeah,
I think even worse than that, these legacy systems will actually degrade over time. The performance will degrade as things are not getting upgraded, as things cannot be tuned because, they are so either suddenly memory intensive because of it or CPU intensive. You haven't been able to upgrade the hardware because the new operating systems or the new, the things you built on that platform are not compliant with your application, or you don't want to touch it because you haven't got the automated tests in place to be able to verify it hasn't broken anything. So these technologies, they then degrade, they get generations behind, they're suddenly harder to integrate to, we worked with an organization who had a COBOL system in place for a long time with one person who was supporting that and maintaining that. And we went in and we talked to him like individually and said, what do you really want out of this? And he says, I just want it to be decommissioned because I want to retire. And they keep persuading me to. And so we said, well, let's make that one of the aims. Why don't you help us write something that then can be used as kind of an integration layer for that to incrementally change that then, and then someone else can support that. So we kind of refocused him from maintenance to building that bridge, building that adapter, building something that could enable that legacy system to be unlocked. And it was like a new lease of life for him, it was a new outcome for it. So
I get that. I mean, from an analogy point of view, I'm thinking about the guy that just doesn't want to get out of bed in the morning because he's not got enough fingers to put in all the holes, right, of the boat. It just sounds absolutely chaotic.
Yeah, and the answer there is not to get more fingers, not to get more people. It's to take a step back, let it sink a little bit, and then work out how strategically you're going to do it. Or, maybe have the people putting the fingers in the boat while you do that thinking, but, you're not going to solve that problem by solving each one of those individual, holes because more were appearing or whatever. So